Hello, everyone. It's Helen here with Health with Helen. Thanks for joining me. All right, tonight's the last night that we are going to talk about acid reflux. For now, we've talked about what can I eat if I have acid reflux? What can I drink? What medication should I take? What surgical procedures are available to me if I'm suffering? And then tonight, we're just going to tie it all together. We're going to wrap it up with talking about changing our lifestyle because we already know that if we haven't changed it already, we're going to soon because this is critical. It's almost like acid reflux 101. I'm sure your doctor's already talked to you about it at least a half a dozen times. I know that my doctor used to tell me these things and I would get irritated. Don't get irritated with me. But he would tell me these things and I'd be like, we talked about this over the past 10 years. Why are you still repeating the same things? Because sometimes we need it. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we get lazy. So I just thought we're just going to talk about it one last time and we're going to move on. So the number one thing that I would recommend to everybody who is suffering from acid reflux, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but it's so important. It's priceless. This is priceless information, is go out and buy yourself a Posturepedic bed. It is going to change your life. It literally is a game changer and it may even save your life. So you've got a couple of options. You can go out and get the full size one where if you and your partner are both suffering from acid reflux, okay, you can lay back or you guys can come forward together. That works. However, you could do what we did, and we got 2 twin beds, which we placed within a king frame. So I can sleep like this, my partner can sleep like this, and it's a win-win, right? That way he can sleep comfortably because he does not suffer the way I do with acid reflux, and then I can sleep like the position I am right now. Not really, but sometimes it feels like it. It literally has saved me, no joke. I mean, I won't say that I don't ever get reflux just because I have this bed, but it has helped me immensely. And so you're definitely going to want to start saving up some money for this. Now, I know when we got it, it was close to about $3,000. It might be a little more expensive now. However, it, like I said, is priceless. So definitely, maybe once you get your tax refund check in or something, be like, we're getting a bed this year. We're getting a bed this year. You can try all the little online hacks. I did it myself. You can prop your pillows. You can buy the special acid reflux pillows. You can put blocks under your bed. You can do all of that. But ultimately, you're going to end up with back pain, neck pain. You're still going to have reflux, and none of it's really going to work, especially long term. And so you're better off just getting the bed and moving forward. And, you know, when you're sleeping on those pillows propped up, more than likely, halfway through the night, you're going to slide down off those pillows and you're going to be flat as a board. And the last thing you want to do long term is have that acid coming up, splashing against that esophagus day in and day out. You're not going to want that. So go and buy the bed. And speaking of laying down, this is probably the number one thing that your doctor told you while discussing acid reflux with you is do not lay down after you eat. Don't do it. I always thought like, well, who does that? Well, we all do it, right? You're tired. You just got home from work. You eat a big meal. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lay on the couch. You're going to want to lay in your recliner. Maybe you're even going to want to go to bed. Don't do it. The doctors recommend that you give yourself at least 3 hours after you've eaten before you lay down, because that gives you plenty of time for the food to go down the hatch, get into the stomach, and for the stomach to empty it. If you're somebody who's dealing with gastroparesis, it may even take you a little bit longer. So, but you're going to definitely want to give yourself that 3 hours, 4 hours even. So you're going to have to gauge it. Whatever time it is that you go to bed, only you know what that is. Give yourself that 3 hours. It's going to help you immensely. And if you have the chance, you should definitely try to take a walk as well. So even if it's just like a 15, 20, 30-minute walk after lunch or after dinner, if you live in a nice climate, go outside and get that walk in because it'll just get everything moving in the right direction. I know after I had my acid reflux surgery, I did that every single day and it helped me so much. In fact, I wish I lived in a climate where I could do that every single day. I would do it after every meal, but I don't. You can see that by the hat. Can you jump on the treadmill? No. It's not the same thing for whatever reason. I don't know. I tried it for years and I was like, why am I getting reflux? Well, you just are. You would think it would be the same thing because I'm not jogging, I'm not sprinting, I'm not running, I'm walking. But for whatever reason, there still must be a jolting pattern to that. So when you're walking, you're probably bouncing around more than you even realize, and the food's just coming up. Now, I have tried it where I went at a really like snail pace, like super duper slow, but I still tend to get the reflux. So you're just better off either walking outside or just sitting up or just not doing anything. Working out, you're going to want to give yourself at least a couple of hours before you go work out because you're going to be bending and squatting and pulling and pushing and doing all of those things. And you're obviously going to give yourself some reflux. So give yourself as much time as you possibly can between eating and working out to avoid getting the reflux. It's unfortunate, but it'll definitely be worth it. Same goes for cleaning your house. I know this sounds strange because you would think, okay, I'm really not doing anything if I'm just kind of dusting and stuff. I don't think that we realize how much we bend and move and do different things when we're cleaning. I mean, I've even tried to snack and kind of clean at the same time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the reflux, horrible. So you're not going to want to do that either. Anything that's bending over, you're not going to want to do. Give yourself a couple of hours. It's going to be critical. If you are obviously suffering from severe reflux, lifestyle changes, we already know dietary, it's going to be so huge. That is like probably the biggest thing. You're going to have to figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. A lot of things, like I said, if you're going to eat anything that's going to be tomato-based, acidic, spicy, you're going to want to eat that on like earlier hours of the day. So in the morning or at lunch, you're not going to want to do that at night because you're obviously probably not as active at night and you're going to be laying down. The reflux is going to come. So you give your body a much better chance if you're going to eat any of that stuff at all in the mornings and the afternoons. And it's always about pairing too. Always remember that because you may be able to get away with certain foods, but the minute you start combining them with other things, that's where your reflux is going to come. So you may be able to have that piece of pizza, but then in 20 minutes, if you decide to go have that chocolate brownie, now you've just set off a bomb. So you would have been okay with either the brownie or the pizza, but now you've got both, and now you've got a recipe for disaster. Same thing. If you may be able to get away with eating a burrito, but now all of a sudden you want to wash it down with some lemonade. I know that sounds horrible, but people do it. Maybe we only say lemonade, we'll say something carbonated, like a big soda pop. Don't do it. I actually say you're just going to have to give up soda altogether. You'll have to figure that out and you'll have to decide that for yourself. But anything that's carbonated and bubbly and you're going to want to get rid of because it's always going to lead to acid reflux. It just is regardless. I mean, you might be able to sneak one in and get away with it here every once in a while, but it's going to be like once in a blue moon type thing. So that's one of the drinks you're going to probably be like, I got to get rid of you and find something else to replace it. Again, stay away from fruit juices. If you're eating like at night, like something, say like you want to have like a big piece of cake and some ice cream or something, okay, you might be okay with that. But if you have just combined that now with obviously a big dinner, now you're looking at reflux because overeating is going to cause you to get reflux too, because anytime you fill up your stomach too full, it's going to be pressing against the esophagus. And then if you throw in some alcoholic beverages, now you're really going to have some reflux because I guess it like loosens that sphincter valve. There's a valve in there that kind of loosens up. I don't know. I'm going to go with it's called an LES valve. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, but there's a valve and it loosens up, it opens up, and then the reflux just comes on in like a flood. So again, just you're going to need to be careful. You're going to have to figure it out. And that's where a dietitian will come in handy for you. So just find a great dietitian, go in there and talk to them like, I'm suffering from acid reflux. What kind of a diet can I have? And just remember, don't get too discouraged because what works for some people may not work for you. And, vice versa. I always say that, but it's so true because, I told you I bought books and I know people who suffer from acid reflux and things that work for them. I'm like, wow, I don't understand. It does not work for me. Well, it's just our bodies. Everybody suffers in a different way. We're all suffering for different reasons. And so you just have to find what works for you. And that's why getting a dietitian and keeping a food diary will be critical. So those are the things I have for you guys. And then obviously, as far as lifestyle, stress, you're going to want to try to find ways to avoid stressing out. And I know that that's hard, especially in the world that we live in. I'm dealing with that firsthand right now because I'm just like, I'm dealing with some reflux. And I'm like, I already know it's due to stress. I already know it is, right? So I've already went to the GI doctor and I'm just like, I don't feel good. I've got reflux and I've got this and that. When right there, I'm sitting there and I know exactly what the culprit is. It's just like, it's stress. So really, I should be working on some things to help with the stress and definitely watching my diet because I can get a little bit lazy as well too, because there was a period of time where instead of doing the 3 hours before I lay down, I was only doing 2 and I was only doing 1. So I was getting a little lackadaisy around the holidays and over the last few months. And then I'm like, why do I have reflux? Well, I already know why. So I'm in the doctor's chair. I'm already knowing why I'm there. And I'm just like, maybe instead of investing in another upper GI, I go and invest in maybe some salt water on my toes and some sunshine and sand. That might actually be a better investment for those, several $1,000s instead of getting scoped again. We'll see. It's been a minute, so it probably would be beneficial to see, make sure everything checks out, going down this way, going the other direction. You got to do your exam. So you definitely want to keep up on that. But in this case, I'm like, stress, it is the culprit. And so anything that we can do, we're all obviously different in that way too, but it plays a big factor because I know that there's days sometimes where I may even be having a conversation with somebody and I actually get a burning sensation in my stomach, up my esophagus. And I'm like, whew, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. So stress is a big one and you're just going to have to figure out what works for you, but find something because you're worth it. You're so worth it. So whatever you have to do, whether it's get massages, take walks, take vacations, whatever you need to do, eat healthier, get on an exercise plan, do it. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching my acid reflux series. If you have any questions at all, definitely just put them in the comment section. I would love to answer them for you. I already know that we will be talking about acid reflux again, probably sooner than later. But for now, we're going to talk about a few other things now that we're in the new year. So stay healthy, God bless, and thank you. Bye.